Welcome to the world united. Welcome to the world united.
All right, we need to move on, and we're going to move on now. And our next speaker is David Holberton. David has a unique perspective on solutions to the world's crisis that make each and every person on the planet key stakeholder to a brighter future. David primarily consults, designs, and implements permaculture systems and facilitates workshops on sustainability and earthworks. And he's going to talk to us about Earth Fund. David?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for all your really beautiful, heartfelt wisdom and everything that you're sharing and doing out there in the world. I'm speaking to you from dark and young land on the central coast of New South Wales, Eastern Australia. And as one of the other speakers said earlier, that was speaking from stolen land. And that land has actually been stolen, not just here in Australia, but the planet wide. We've all grown up in a paradigm where we've grown up feeling like that we need to go out and get a job to pay for the land that we'll eventually live on, wherever that land is. And something just didn't quite feel right about that. I sort of bought that paradigm growing up and going out into the world and starting to work. But the more I tried to exist in, what people say is the real world, the more it just didn't seem to fit and didn't feel right. So I started having a little bit of an awakening myself and started to look a little bit further afield and scratch a little deeper in terms of what's going on in the world and why things are the way they are. And I just realized that the human being is the only species of organism on planet Earth that has to pay for its existence to dwell on the planet, to dwell on the Earth. And that seems ludicrous to me. And I tend to resonate more with our Indigenous brothers and sisters that we belong to the land and not the other way around. And one day I was talking with a child about world peace. I wanted to get a child's perspective. It was actually my son. He was 11. And I asked him, I thought, could we just listen to this talk about world peace? A friend of ours was sort of traveling the country on a bit of a road trip and giving seminars, and we just listened to one of those. And so I said to my son, what do you think about world peace? What's going on in you when you're presented with the notion of world peace? And that sparked an hour and a half discussion. And I was amazed at the level of understanding that a child had about the concept of world peace, what was going on in the world, what it actually, meant to be peaceful, and about conflict as well, and sustaining conflict and what it takes to sustain conflict. And so as we kept talking, I said to my son, wouldn't it be great if we could go around the whole world to every single human being? I was just talking out loud, just, spitballing. And what if we could grab a little bit of everyone's goodwill, just the little aspect inside of every single person on the planet where they believe that whatever they're doing, they probably believe they're doing the right thing for the right reasons with good intentions. What if we could represent a little bit of that energy inside everyone and get that all working for the force of good? We can see what happens when people come together, for the force of not very good. And so the next thought was, okay, well, everybody, what do we have in common? We're all using money at the moment. What if we could create a bank account for Mother Earth? And I was thinking about this for actually quite a long time, not really taking the idea too seriously. But the more I thought about it and the more I spoke to people about, what's going on in the world, and this was obviously before COVID, and And yeah, people were just turning around going, oh my God, what an amazing idea. So in January this year, we approached an organisation, charity organisation based in Queensland, in Australia. And they loved the idea so much that we started a fund for the Earth. So Planet Earth now has its very own bank account. And the idea was that if we could go around to every single person on the planet and just say, in gratitude and respect for this beautiful Mother Earth that we all too easily take for granted, imagine if just every person put $1 in that account, and that's it, just a one-time, one-off donation. We'd have $1 representing every human being on the planet. That would be $7.8 billion. And we thought, well, with a modest cash interest rate of 1%, in 1 year, that would raise $78 million. And that would buy a lot of land. And so the next question was, what would Mother Earth do with money? And what we're postulating to everybody is that Mother Earth would start buying her land back off us. And with that land becomes freehold for community development and for sustainability, for planting trees, for growing, and for starting to behave the right way on the planet. I believe most of us, we tend to adopt these ideas where we think, we want to be a hairdresser, or we think we want to be a banker, or we think we want to be this identity. But actually, ultimately, remembering back to when I was a kid and put into school for the first time, I actually just wanted to belong. I wanted to belong to my family, and my family believed they had to go to work to earn a living, and so they put me into school. And so psychically, that energetically sent a message to me that I didn't matter. And all these years later, I've had to come back to the truth, which is that we're all unique, we're all beautiful, and we all matter. And we need to learn to send a better message to our children. And so we've developed the Earth Fund. I'll share my screen just very quickly and show you what that looks like. Can you all see that? Yeah, beautiful. And so this is the organization. It's called Earth Care Collective. The organization at the moment is currently parked. The management need to run an annual general meeting, and all of the roles within the organization are up for election. So the organization is looking for a new director, secretary, treasurer, and some committee members. And it's a fully operable charity organization with tax-deductible gift recipient status. So from an organizational perspective, this is a really amazing vehicle to drive some community change. Yeah, so that's what we've got at the moment, and I wanted to just share that with the world. I'm not sure where we're at for speaking and for time, but that's the idea. I wanted to reflect on that. It's probably more time for doing than talking. We wanted to put some action out there and put something that provides a common platform that we can all get onto and that we can all be a part of. And over to you guys. Thank you very much for listening.
Such a cool idea, David. Such a cool plan. It's almost like you use the system to say, okay, you're going to make us play your game. We can play your game. We can buy your land.
Exactly.
Love it. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure.